Good times. Control 3. So, spawning in the top left of Daedalus Point, playing for Team Guns and Roaches. It's actually a random player spawning as Zerg. It's Qball. And his opponent spawning in the bottom right for AlloyE eSports in green. It's RhiNo. Nice logo there. I love that you can do it with the patch. It's also nice. Apparently Qball left something on that he shouldn't have left on at the beginning of this game. Always a good decision, except not. So, TVZ, it is Gold League, but so players should have at least a pretty good idea as to what they want to do with their lives. Yeah. When you want to play one game seriously, you probably want to exit the other one, so you can't get distracted. Oh well. This is an interesting map, but yeah, this is the newer version, with a slightly smaller ramp at least. Comes more into play for the Terran player, but in its first iteration, this ramp was absolutely humongous. I feel like that's the bigger ramp. Like that is supposed to be smaller. Yeah, I'm not insane. I feel like they played this on an old map. Oh well. These things happen. Shouldn't come too much into play, but we'll have to see, I guess. And I guess it'll affect it if Qball decides to go for some super early, like bailing bust, depending on how much of a wall RhiNo's gonna be able to get up. But RhiNo's probably gonna go in just for a Reaper expand, so he'll be playing nice and safe here, not going for a CC first. Even though this is a 2-player map, it is pretty big. So the rush distance is quite far, so going CC first isn't quite as scary as it is on most 2-player maps, but Qball actually going pool, then gas, and I guess finally actually going to go for his hatchery, so he's going to have speed very, very fast. And this Reaper that's going to be coming out for RhiNo isn't really going to be able to do too much beyond the scouting, at least hopefully not too much. The Queen should be out by the time the Reaper actually gets over there, and even Lings if he so chose, but definitely going to be just a Queen for now. A couple Lings also on the way. And RhiNo is probably going to be expanding as quickly as possible as well. He actually skipped the second supply depot, so he's going to be beating his CC really, really fast, actually. Skipping that depot lets you get that faster. So this is actually more of kind of like a Protoss build, but again, our player Qball is random, so I don't think he's actually seen anything yet. He did catch a whiff of this Overlord, so he probably knows now what he's going up against. But so he's playing as basically as safe as possible. And I guess, did he pull out of gas? No, he didn't pull out of gas. He did pull one out of gas, though, it seems. So he's not going to be able to get his factory as fast as he really wants it, but he should be A-okay. I think the factory is coming down right now. No, it's another barracks, actually. So he's going to be focusing just on barracks units rather than going to a factory quickly. And with a lot of quick speedlings, that could be a problem if he's not going to have anything but Marines out to push it away. But the Reaper did get in and did see that this was jiggling, so he knows speed is on the way, and if he clicked on the extractor, he's going to know how much gas has actually been mined, so he should know that speed is on the way and gas is still being mined. So this could be a very aggressive play coming from Qball. There's actually a factory coming out along with this second barracks, so RhiNo's going to be trying to play as safe as possible, it seems. One reactor barracks, and I would imagine a tech lab barracks. And he is getting a second gas already, so he's going to be able to tech up pretty quickly here. Despite pulling out of this first gas slightly to begin with. No add-on just yet for this barracks. And no bunkers up front yet. And there's a bailing nest on the way for Qball. So this could very well be a very quick game, depending on what Qball decides to do. Reaper poking getting a little annoying. Trying to pick off some Lings as he can. Nice little bit of micro from RhiNo. It's always fun to pick off slow Lings with one Reaper. At the same time, you have to make sure that you're not floating a ton of minerals behind it. And still no add-ons on the factory or the second barracks, but he does have 2 CCs, and there's the tech lab and a reactor on this factory. But immediately going to a starport, so I'm not sure if he's actually using this factory for anything other than, making the add-on, but Bane that's already done layer is actually on the way as well, and no third base yet from Qball, and this Reaper does see that, so he knows that exists, and Overlord trying to scout in here and see what it can see. It did see the factory. I don't think it actually caught wind of the starport. No, it hasn't seen the starport just yet, so it is not quite sure, but one Ling is in place, to catch this CC moving down. But there are plenty of bio units here. No stim just yet, and actually a reactor on the starport alone, with the factory also having its own reactor. So it's a whole lot of reactors. This is Reactor City back here. If I were a rapper, I would start singing Rack City. Yeah, right, totally. So Qball just kind of setting himself up. It doesn't look like, I don't know. He's set up so aggressively, and Reaper finally is going to die before actually. I don't think has he seen anything in the main. No, he hasn't seen anything in the main just yet. But Layer's already finished. He's only on 2 gas geysers, no third base, a ton of minerals. He's not supply blocked. He's just not making anything. There it is. Finally, a Spire. Spire coming down in the natural, but there's not gonna be a whole lot of gas. He just made 9 drones, so he's definitely going to be droning up and trying to go for a Spire. But it's kind of a strange way to get to the Spire, given how quickly everything else was. It's just a really low amount of drones right now. 36 drones and 25 SCVs, so both players really low on the worker count right now. Just some more barracks coming in. Up to 4 racks now, stim on the way. No bunkers to speak of. Are a couple Hellions out, but until he decides to scan and catch wind of the Spire back here, he's going to be kind of blind. And another Overlord being sacrificed, just confirming that this is in fact bio play. Just wants to make sure, I suppose, that he's not playing against mech or something ridiculous. And Qball finally taking his third base here. So he played this basically as safe as he possibly could. And not really, I don't know, strange, but whatever. This works. He is a random player, so kudos to him. I also play random. It's a lot harder. And another Overlord being, actually no, this is the same Overlord, isn't it? I think so. Yeah, it is. This is the second Overlord he's lost, so nothing more than some Overlord sacrifices. And 5 meters are already on the way. Engineering Bay is done, and there are a good amount of Marines out, and a drop is actually moving out. I really wish I could follow. The game heart is broken in the sense that you can't actually follow units anymore, at least in the non-extension mod version. So the first meters are on the way, but beyond that there's not much out here. And this medevac, is it going to skirt? It's going to skirt right past such that range of that watchtower there. So nice for him. So this drop is going to come in at the same time as these meters coming in. There are a lot of Marines at home, but they're all at the natural. Oh, I guess we had some observers lagging, but drop coming in, actually focusing on the pool, kind of unnecessary. At the same time, Qball is getting in with his mutas and taking out a lot of workers, and getting the pool would be cute, but he would much rather get a lot of workers right now. And both players just killing up a ton of workers. Qball already having 12 workers killed. Seems a good amount of lag there from some observers, which is never good, but these stim Marines going to push away these mutas, and eventually this drop was cleaned up as well. Where's the drop? It's over here now. So all that did die. A lot more economic damage done by Qball. Actually has a 28 Harvester lead right now, which is huge, and he has his third base done. So, and with mutas and a huge bank, he just kind of needs to start getting his injects going and producing off of it. So what is he? He has 11 larvae right now. 11 larvae right now. 60 drones. So he's got a pretty decent drone count. He's going to want to finish saturating his third base, but he's in a very good spot now. That first little swing in with his mutas killed a lot of the infrastructure, or well, a lot of the economy for our Terran player here. So he is definitely hurting. Turrets are going to be able to push this away, but these perimeter supply depots are going to get picked away at, which is always a little bit of annoyance. It's not really going to supply block him necessarily, but he's going to have to make sure that's going to be pushed away. And this is a huge base, and RhiNo really doesn't have the money to be throwing turrets down everywhere as he may like to do. Actually, I say that, and he's going to be throwing down 2 turrets. Getting an armory as well behind this. He has +1/+1, so armory could be for Thors if he so chose to do that. He's adding against a lot of Hellions right now. No Hellbats just yet, and the armory is just finishing up. So, and yeah, our Zerg player is in a pretty good spot here. 67 to 32 drones, 107 supply to 86 supply. There's a small supply block, so that depot getting killed has eventually helped out, but only 1 turret, but there's not really enough mutas to fly in there and try to take out. He does try to micro that back. He does lose one meter, but he does kill the turret. He does kill the SCV. He's going to kill another building turret that did get cancelled. And he might get another depot before he has to duck out of here. These mutas do have +1 attack already. Flyer carapace is on the way as well. So these mutas are going to become a problem kind of soon. And what is that siren? I didn't really... This little doodad actually makes that noise. That's pretty funny. Neat. Oh, cool. Anyway, right now just trying to kind of get back in this game. He's a super, super low worker count right now. 70 workers to 31 right now. That's a huge, huge advantage for Qball. He's floating a ton of money right now. Does he have... Where is his defense? His defense are basically these banelings right now. He's got 9 larvae, so he can produce a lot more. But he does have a lot of nice creep spread, so he's going to see an attack coming, and even an overlord sitting over here. Muta's again trying to poke in, but there's a good amount of marines here. You're not going to fight against that many stim marines, regardless of them not having medevacs. But he does see, he does manage to turn this on fire. Turn this on fire, catch this on fire. Terminology. At the same time, he's just adding on more and more mutas. It's up to 22 mutas right now. 4 more on the way. They do have 1-1 now, actually. He's going to be pretty beefy soon, but there isn't much defense beyond that. He does have some speed like banelings, but not a ton. And as I said, that he adds on a lot more. And RhiNo's going to be moving out, and this is a pretty beefy force here. Regardless of his kind of down economy, these are 1-1 marines with a good amount of medevacs versus not many banelings, but engagement going to be crashing in here. Even the muta's going to join in, and banelings crashing in, doing a lot of damage to the Hellions, but not really the bio. But there's just that's such a lead. 144 supply to 60 supply, and these mutas are going to clean it up just by themselves. No third base in sight for a Terran player, and a 4th base already up for Qball. And it looks like he's gonna pop in here, and yeah, RhiNo's gonna call a GG there, and Qball gonna give GnR a 2. Oops, there we go. Gonna give GnR a 2 lead. So nice there for them. Nice, just that one little muta comment or fly in the first time when RhiNo was dropping in Qball's main. Really kind of won that game for Qball, so good for him. We'll take a short break to set up the next game.